Hello, loves. All right. So I'm just cleansing the area again. It's like the second time. Hell, you guys might actually have seen the first time and me trying to make sense of why I'm here, because Spirit's showing me actually putting that up. 7 minutes of just silence. I still don't know why I'm here. I had actually set an intention to not film this week. Even though I had started my week off last week, and I'm filming this on the 1st of February. So happy February, you guys. I had started last week off on like a really upbeat note. I was making diet changes that I had felt deeply intuitively called to. I was going to the gym every day, twice a day. I was really working my body in new ways. And towards the middle of the week, my body started showing pains in places and severities that did not reflect the amount of work that I was doing with it. And I just figured, I haven't worked out in a really long time. It's no big deal. I'm going to keep going. And I kept going. Outside of that, last week, I also received a call from a surgical center out of state to schedule me for surgery, which I'm having next week. And they had medical records that I didn't have. I wasn't aware of at the time of scheduling. And when they called, they said the doctor had intended on getting me down there 2 weeks prior, but she had a sudden emergency and had to take sabbatical. And there were just things that played out, but it was something that they did not want to wait long on. But they wanted to give me enough time to get everything prepared because, having surgery, having a major surgery like I need to out of state, that it takes a lot to get set up. And especially as a mom, it takes a lot. And then I started getting all my ducks in a row for this surgery. Something triggered my intuition. And this is something that I used to do back before this whole journey without realizing that I was 100% following my intuition every single time to a T and fighting because I knew my intuition. I knew myself. I didn't realize how strong it was, guys. Like I never saw it until now. But I followed it this time down the rabbit hole that it was leading me down. And I was fighting internally. Like, why would I go and look up my old medical records? I haven't dealt with the same issues forever. This is something new. This is, it's the same as it was with my left ovary. It's not happening with my right ovary, functional cysts. It's no big deal. It just causes a lot of pain, and you get to a point where you can't handle the pain anymore, and you want to make sure to take care of it. So I kind of was battling myself. Well, why should I do this? I had seen a specialist in September, and I came to find out that there was information that I didn't know. Pertinent information I didn't know. And so I found that very pertinent information out last Friday. And to say it has been a lot is an understatement. And so because I'm in this state where I cry a lot right now, I didn't think it was in my best interest to come here, and I have a doctor's appointment in a few hours, and it's, one of many that I will be having prior to leaving for my surgery. And I sat down and I said, I can't go lay back in bed. I can't keep putting it all together, putting the pieces together. I don't know what to do. And Spirit brought me into my office, and I just felt this wave. And I said, okay, what part of this is meant to help them? What part of this is meant to help the collective? So if you guys are coming here and you see the title, because Spirit's just it's just going to be a note from the universe. Just a message from Spirit, just something simple. You guys know about as much as I do about why we're here. Before we continue, I need to give gratitude. Because through this channel, I have met some absolutely incredible people, subscribers, friends, fellow readers, people who I've corresponded with, who I've built friendships with. I am moving forward knowing that I have more support right now, that Spirit has brought in more support into my life during this time in my life than I have ever had. And that brings me a level of deep comfort. And in this interim time of not knowing the magnitude of what's going on, experiencing everything that I am, it is in those moments where I move to a higher perspective, where I gain a higher grounding point, and I look at the entirety of what I have, and even though I feel incredibly, incredibly alone right now, I know I am not. I know I have love and support, and each one of you have been there to help me with that. And I am honored. I am grateful. If I am silent after this, I can only hope and pray that you guys understand. That does not mean that I am not thrilled to hear from anyone. Email me if you know how to get a hold of me. Aside from that, feel free. In the meantime, okay, Spirit, what are we here for? Okay. Okay. We have Mars in Capricorn with authority. Mars in Pisces with escape. And the Sun in Aries with assertion. And on the back we have Mars in Scorpio with revenge. It's a lot of Mars energy, which doesn't surprise me because, I started off talking to you guys about what's going on in my life. The fight that I am going through, sometimes in our lives, we accept others as knowing better. We accept because, you can accept that, well, I must know better than you because I'm a psychic, or because I'm a reader, or I'm more connected to spirit, or this and that. And that's just blatantly untrue. I know no more or less than you do about you. But you come here and you open your energy and you offer it so that I can show you. I'm in no means an authority, but there are times where we come into contact with people who are in authoritative positions. They're in leadership positions, and we're coming to them for help. And we want to accept whatever it is, the help that we get. And by all accounts, we should. We should be able to accept what is told to us, what is offered to us, what is guided for us. We should be able to accept that. But this escape card in the middle is carrying a warning energy, and not in a super negative way, but it's this: be careful that in trusting some authority, you're not escaping your own authority. You're not running from who you truly are. Be sure that you see that you have this firm grounding in yourself. You really are the authority of you. If there's ever anything that I have learned on this medical journey that I've been on for most of my adult life, pre and post awakening, it's that not a single doctor could ever understand or know the complexity of what is going on inside of my body better than I could. And when we go and an authority figure, whether it's a doctor, a teacher, a boss, challenges us, we rise up, we assert ourselves. Okay, we do that time again. Over time, that gets wearing. Over time, it gets exhausting. You assert yourself, you keep going, and you've got this revenge card. That's why you keep going. That's why you keep challenging that authority. There's a difference between challenge and assertion here. This is about learning the best way to speak for yourself, to use your voice, to stand up for yourself, to share your truths. Sometimes we have to assert ourselves into an authoritative role in our own lives because we spend so much time escaping. But it's also so that we can escape from the kind of stranglehold that we get from other people taking control. With this revenge card, there's a lot here that feels like, again, those in authority, those on higher ground, they may use something as a means of, look what I've done. But be sure that when you do something like that, that it's like, make sure that you're not inaccurately seeing the picture. One of the things that I've learned recently is that sometimes we feel as though someone in authority has abandoned us, left us. They don't take us seriously. They don't do this. And for the most part, I used to feel that way about doctors a lot. I really did. And now I see how I've had many years of doctors who have done everything in their power to try and find answers for me. Truly everything in their power. Every test in the book, just not understanding that I was picking up on things that were yet to come. They were presenting and then they disappear. And it's very convoluted of a story, but they were at the mercy of the people above them. Their role, their responsibility, their employment, their medical licenses were at the mercy of those above them. So they had to follow all the guidelines and protocols to a T. And that is something that maybe I'm not a doctor, but I'm sure that a lot of doctors, because I've heard it from some of them, feel like the system it takes away the passion that was there when they started practicing medicine. They get so limited that patients die. They miss things. Why? Because they're not allowed to look at this. They're not allowed to look at that. Insurance and red tape and whatever. I've seen so many times where it felt like I was just being dismissed, but that's how I felt. I can't imagine how the doctors must have felt during that with not being able to help me. And now I've experienced the exact opposite. I've experienced someone who was not accountable to a higher power. They were the higher power. And they played fast and loose with my life. And there's no one above them but where most people in my situation would go immediately to, well, what are you going to do about it? Revenge right now for me is healing. It's getting better, getting a second opinion, getting a third opinion if I needed to, but a second opinion was really all it took. And it was only about 10 minutes before I was told exactly what needed to happen. And I had known it since September, but I had to wait for things to play out. And sometimes divine timing works that way. And I don't necessarily understand what's going on with me as far as what the totality of this lesson is, but I do see bits and pieces of it. I see how perspective really matters. I really do. And I see that revenge does nothing more or less than feed fear. The best revenge is success. It's happiness. It's moving on. Whatever this is in your life, I'm using a very specific example, and I do not in any way, shape, or form suspect that this is going to resonate in exactness with everybody. But how can it be a metaphor in your life? We've got the 8 of Wands. How can it be a metaphor in your life so that you can move forward? 5 of Pentacles. Yeah, it's like moving forward, but moving forward into what may be perceived as the 5 of Pentacles state. But remember what I just said. Perception really matters in these situations. How you see things is going to determine and dictate how it is. The 5 of Pentacles energy really is, to me, right now, it feels like an escapism. Like, let me slip into woe. Let me slip into sadness. Let me slip into pain. It's being left out in the cold, abandoned, alone, wounded with no help. We've got the Seven of Cups, the Page of Swords. Okay. No? Okay. The Seven of Cups and the Page of Swords here. And you have a lot of options. Okay, I see. Okay. Ace of Wands. On the back, we have the Three of Cups. Okay. So this is the difference between revenge and celebration. I'm going to put this out there because I feel like I'm doing a personal reading for myself. So if this resonates with you guys, please know that this is a really good way for me to work through my own shit as well, because I'm struggling too. And I get why Spirit brought me here so that we can work through it together, because we all work through shit and we all go through shit. So what I'm seeing in this that relates to my life, and I want you guys to take my life and make it a metaphor in your life. I feel that very strongly for you. I have Capricorn, Pisces, Aries, Scorpio. This really amplified for me in Scorpio season. I had told David, my husband, for months, I said, I am so terrified of October for some reason. It had a bad feeling to me, and I couldn't explain why. I had this horrible feeling about October. Well, October came and went. Nothing really terrible happened, nothing like worldwide or whatever. Maybe I was wrong. Well, October and going into Scorpio season kind of marked a countdown for me, it feels like. I had drowned myself in work. I was literally in this Eight of Wands energy. But I ended up feeling more and more and more drained. I usually am the person who can do so much. I can, when it comes to creativity, I can just sit and create for hours and hours and hours and never get drained. I got so tired. I would take several days to film a video. It alleviated for a while, and then it would come back again. And from Scorpio season, which started at the end of October, through to present day, I get more and more and more exhausted if I try and do too much in a day. And maintaining a sense of balance in my life has become harder and harder. That was one of the reasons why I changed onto the journey that I'm on, that I started with eating right and working out, because it gives you more energies and it helps with getting the right hormones in your system. And it kind of, it's like getting in a kind of internal high energy in a healthy way. So I'm looking at all of this and I'm seeing here how things just kind of played out. I put my pain on the back burner. I put my health and the symptomology that were popping up on the back burner. Spirit would lead me to readings where they would all say the same thing. You should really get your body checked out. You should really go and get your yearly exam done. You should really book an appointment, over and over and over again. And I was like, you know what? I'll make time in January because that's my 6-month mark. I'll make time in January. It's no big deal. I had put off that I scheduled a second opinion appointment. I had put it out of my head. Midway through December, I was ahead on my work. I was doing really well. And Spirit was preparing me through someone else for the worst betrayal of my life. I really thought that December, when I was going through this kind of menial, in retrospect, this kind of menial moment where, I was dealing with someone who didn't have a vision, didn't have a plan, and felt challenged because I was asking for clarity. And it just feels so childish. It feels so menial now. There's so many things that feel so menial to me. And I got all caught up in that situation and didn't understand until now. And sometimes that happens. We don't understand until we can retrospect on things. We don't understand it until we can look back and see it. But what I was being prepared for was a betrayal that hits in such a deep way from someone that you're genuinely not connected to from your heart space. And understanding how to navigate through that without getting angry, without being reactive, without seeking revenge or escaping or anything, so that you can continue to move forward and assert yourself where you need to. So for my situation, it was preparing me for this. This is, I can literally see years, a decade of my life, more so with some of this, more than a decade, going all the way back to 2009, where I've been dealing with this my entire adult life. And it's always been similar to the same area, but since 2015, really, really progressively worsening. And there were times where I really asserted myself, but I was pushing irrationally. I was pushing without a clear idea of why or what I was pushing for. And I barked up a lot of the wrong trees. They were adjacent trees. So they were running parallel, but they weren't the right situation. I was going headfirst into it. And you know what battling something for that long does? It exhausts you. Mind, body, and soul. And this is not in a victim mentality way. This is in a test every fiber, an ounce of your inner strength, inner light, your faith in what you can't see, but you know and you feel, and your faith that there is a reason and a purpose. It tests you so deeply. So here I can see so many different stories of my life playing out in these 5 cards. Everything progresses rapidly. You feel so abandoned, alone, left out in the cold. You can't see the light. You feel like you're depleted. And it does, it happens, because when you have to battle, when you have to fight, when you have to go and stand for yourself for so long and no one listens to you, what do you have left aside from escaping from the situation? I took a 3-year hiatus from seeing doctors. And not like my primary care for like infections or anything like that, but any kind of specialist, any kind of everything that I had been working at maintaining in my life for my health, I just stopped. I put everything in the hands of spirit, and I had a massive, massive level of healing. And I see now so clearly that level of healing was for this situation. And I still don't know what the situation is. I just don't. And I won't accept it until I have it concrete in front of me, regardless of what spirit's showing me. Just because this is one area where my Virgo energy is no, I need practical, I need on paper. Absolutely not. But I don't negate what my intuition has been saying for years. And my body is now showing as well. We can feel abandoned And that abandonment can come from so many different places. And when you move from a place of abandonment, like the Five of Pentacles, directly into that Seven of Cups energy, now you're sitting there and you're staring at all of these different options. Where do you go? What do you do? The Seven of Cups right now is actually talking to me a lot about what happened when I had cluster symptoms. It's like I had a cluster of symptomology that matched a multitude of different things. And because where I live, there are very minimal at best medical professionals that will treat you as a whole human being, that will look at the entire picture of you as a human being and say, you know what? Your body is all contained within your skin. Like it's all one. If you ever think about the interconnected nature of each and every one of us, think about the human body. The blood, the organs, the lymph nodes, the glandular system, the skin, the bones, the muscles, the ligaments, the tendons. Each and every one have their individual unique function. Some have functions that are similar to others, but it's in a different area of the body and it operates differently. But they all work together. And they all work together using what? One source, our brain. One singular source of direction and authority. And if we can't trust our own brain, then we can't trust our body. Then there's a dissonance that occurs internally, and we see it externally. And then we see only the bits and pieces. We see only the individual cups. So in medical terms, you see this person who has nausea, but they also have joint pain. So you send them to a gastroenterologist and then to an orthopedic doctor or a rheumatologist, or they get sick often. So you send them to an immunologist. But they also have weird skin rashes or, nodules or something like that. So you send them to a dermatologist. You see, we piece out the person. So then you get stuck in the Seven of Cups energy. And again, I'm going to associate it with my life, but this can be used in such a broad scale. So if you guys heard that beeping, that would be my ovens turning off. So definitely take that as like, this is important. We're sitting there staring at the Seven of Cups energy. Think of the person on the Seven of Cups as your own brain trying to make a choice. Do I tell them about this symptom and risk being sent to this professional or this specialist? Tell them about this one. How can all of these be disconnected? How is it possible that this isn't all one thing? What is going on? Why is it this way? And you get to this point where you're sitting there staring at everything that's going on, and you're like, well, what is the one cup that is going to get me where I need to be? Where's the cup that won't be betrayal? Where is the cup that won't be more pain and tests and anguish and procedures and this and that? Where is the cup that contains the answers? But you can't pick and choose what your answers are and negate the rest. It's about seeing all 7 cups and realizing that there really is only one cup. Just like in the Matrix, where the trick to bending the spoon is to realize that there is no spoon. There is only one cup. If there is only one cup, then everything matters. Every part of you matters. Every part of your life matters. Every desire, every dream, every wish, every goal matters. But on a far more practical level, every symptom matters. So, yes, you can be really tired, exhausted, not ready to do something, not ready to fight another fight, not ready to assert yourself again, worried about people coming at you, worried about this, worried about that. You can be in that energy. Yeah, I get it. I get it, because you shift from that energy to the Seven of Cups, and it's analysis paralysis, because if you make a mistake, what's at stake in your life? What are you risking? Making a choice. So Spirit wants you to realize whatever it is it's playing out in your life, there is only one cup. That cup contains the totality of everything for you. So what is the cup? Stop trying to piece things down. You're not simplistic. None of us are. We are complex beings, complex creations. And the more that we try to simplify ourselves rather than our lives, the harder we have with accepting our own complexities. Because what I'm seeing here is this notion of there is only one cup is going to get you really curious. There is only one cup. Let me investigate. The Page of Swords is the detective of the deck. It's the one that needs to know, that needs to find. And the Page of Swords does. And the Page of Swords does find every single time without fail. What is being sought is ready to be found. There's that notion of what you desire desires you. What you are looking for is looking for you. You are ready to seek and find. And what has been seeking you is ready to find you. So if you're both at that place, then what you are seeking is ready to be found, and you will find it. And from there will be clarity, there will be peace, there will be an inspirational burst that goes, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm going to take my one cup and I'm going to join with others and celebrate. No matter how difficult the situation may look, I see that things are way more complex than what meets the eye. And the easiest thing that I can do is accept the complexities of each and every moment. I can simplify things in my life, but this life and this world and this journey that we're on is far more complex than we know. And there is a purpose for everything, a reason for it all. And it may not always seem that way, but there is. What you have been seeking or desiring to start looking for, even. Because for some of you, I feel like you haven't allowed yourself to even start looking. It's ready to be found. All you have to do is say, lead me, guide me, teach me, Spirit. Spirit is always ready to help, always ready. Okay, we have the card here. I envision my highest self and start showing up as my highest self. As him, as her, not gender specific. What is your highest self? And how do you show up for you? Yes, I'm allowed to say no. Exactly. This brings me right back to this energy. And, I could have said, no, that's not the route I want to take. I could have asked to have more information. I could have pushed harder. I didn't assert myself because at that point I wasn't ready. But I am allowed to say no. Sometimes we have to. Alternately, you are allowed to say yes. to life. I am always provided for. And then it is safe for me to rest. And on the back, I align with everything I need in life simply by being me. See, this is again that simple word, being yourself. That's a simple act. It's embracing the complexity. We talk about being dualistic. Give me just one moment, guys. All right, guys, I am back. I am not even going to lie. I don't remember what I was saying. But I had a phone call from the doctor that I had to take. These final messages are, it's important for you to prioritize what is necessary for you, what you need. We can get really scared when we're not sure what we're facing. But when you allow yourself to have that higher perspective, to be your highest self, to be yourself, when you allow yourself to simply say no to the things that don't mesh and trust spirit, it's in those moments that you realize that the safest place to rest is in spirit. The universe will always take care of you. It may not be that way by perception, but sometimes we need to shift that. And I know that a lot of people say that, and I know it's really hard in the moment. I do. But sometimes you just need to take a break. To let the universe guide you where you need to be. All right, my loves, this is what I have. I don't know the next time you guys are going to see or hear from me. But I am really grateful for each and every one of you. So thank you so much. I'm going to leave it here. Bye.